Now, I'd like to direct your attention to the third step, which was analyzing the actual broadcast or publication. May I please have a moment to set up the courtroom for the use of a demonstrative?
Sure.
When they set the courtroom, do you stop the time?
I don't think so.
They got a lot of all these vague.
Just objections.
I just think so,
To
but
be on
they,
the safe side. It's just two objections.
they gotta love how IMTA fails to write in all these situations.
All right. I don't know how that's going to
Now, Mr. B, you said that you had the opportunity to review a paper and DVD copy of this broadcast?
Yes, that's correct.
Do you feel that the use of a demonstrative would aid you in explaining to the jury how you were able to analyze this?
Absolutely.
Permission for the witness to step down in order to reference the demonstrative?
Yes.
Now, Mr. Bate, did you notice anything of significance in regards to the language used in the actual broadcast?
Well, yes, the language used in the broadcast, some of the language used in the broadcast is inflammatory. Reagan Thomas, uses language such as gun down and all signs point to Drew Alton. So this language isn't in fact inflammatory, but it is more popular in today's journalism.
Did this lead you to conclude that CNN had in fact violated any standard?
Absolutely not. Well, you have to look at the broadcast as a whole. So while Reagan Thomas used inflammatory language, Thomas also used language such as it appears to be, I spoke with several witnesses and police sources, Walton may be the shooter, the possible involvement, uncertainty, so few answers. So this type of language shows that there was some uncertainty in the broadcast. Yes.
So were you able to come to any major conclusion regarding the broadcast itself?
Yes. Basically, one must look at the broadcast as a whole. And looking at the broadcast as a whole, Reagan Thomas did not violate any standards of journalism.
Thank you. Permission for the witness to return to his seat. Now, Mr. Faith, I'd like to direct your attention to the retraction. Are retractions a part of ethical journalism?
Absolutely, and I do applaud BNN for issuing a retraction after nervous.
Does a retraction mean that a journalist made a mistake or that the investigation wasn't thoroughly investigated?
Objection, Your Honor. Calls for hearsay. The document that she's referring to is not been submitted as evidence, nor has it been properly stipulated to the bench.
The question was about retractions in general, so I don't think that they're referring to a specific retraction here. So I'm going to overrule your objection to answer the question. He's being asked for an opinion about retractions.
So, Mr. Faith, do retractions mean that journalists have made some sort of mistake or that an investigation wasn't thoroughly investigated?
Absolutely not. The retraction basically means that someone other than the journalist made an error. Basically, a source could have given the journalist wrong information or something along those lines. So it's really not on the part of the journalist.
Now, Mr. Faith, finally, I would like to direct your attention to the entire analysis as a whole. Were you able to come to a conclusion in the case?
Absolutely, yes.
And what was that conclusion?
My conclusion basically was that while this investigation, this whole broadcast, was not a model of excellent journalism, it did have some flaws, but looking at it as a whole, it's quite typical of today's journalism. It is not clear whether BNN violated any ethical standards, and I'm certainly not convinced that there was any violation of some sort.
Thank you, Mr. Faith. No further questions at this time.
Okay. Cross-examination? Yes, sir.